Today I'm doing a full video on the MPC Key 37, which is the first time that I've ever done a how to make your first beat on this unit. I do have a full-on masterclass for the Key 37. However, I gotta update it to the new Gen 2s because there's so much under the hood right now. However, my course does cover all of the information that will be in this video, as it does talk about 3.0 and 2.0 if you're still interested in that. But I want to cover the basis of this new unit because why not? I mean, why not just put it on YouTube for free? The first thing that we need to talk about is registering your new MPC you have purchased. First thing that every MPC user should do is register your MPC at akaipro.com. So go to the top right side of the screen and click on this human icon and make you an account. Just make sure that you register. After creating your account, sign in. The serial number is located on the box of the MPC Key 37 Gen 2 or on the back of this unit. After registering your serial number, all you have to do is go over here where it says Key 37 G2 and then click on View Downloads and make sure that you download the MMusic Software Center. After installing the MMusic software for the first time, go to My Hardware and then go to MPC Key 37 and you'll see all the drivers that you need to download. Make sure that you download all the drivers and the MPC software. Also go to My Preferences by hitting on the menu button right here 2 times, and then you can go to your activation, log in, make sure you're connected to the Wi-Fi, and then also install any of your stuff right here. If you want to set up some of your preferences for your MPC, I recommend going into MIDI sync and activating all the MIDI channels that you need, and then going over here and setting up receive to MIDI clock, and make sure that you have this checked off, receive MMC, and then you can click on receive MMC for send, and you'll be able to communicate with your desktop software and anything else. Also go into hardware settings, which you can find a whole bunch of stuff where you can control the brightness of your screen, and then you can go into project defaults and you can set up your BPM for whatever type of style beat that you're trying to create. Also from project defaults, you can set up your default sequencer bars, just in case you work in 4/8 or whatever type of bars. You can set up retrospective record. You can also set up your default plugin synth that you want to pull up every time that you make a beat. Speaking of which, let's get started with making your first beat. Anytime that you start a new beat, you are greeted with this splash screen right here, where you need to go to the bottom left side of the screen and press new project. Once you press new project, you will get this screen right here, which is the sound screen. So you have a dedicated sounds button on your MPC Key 37. So the next thing you want to do is hit this main button right here. Now let's talk about the main screen. One thing that you need to know about the MPC workflow is that you can set it up for success just by a few things right here. So, and just in case you need to know, this is the sequence part of the main screen. The sequence part is unique per sequence by default. So if I was to change the BPM on this unused track right here to 88, and I go back to sequence 1, then it's on 128 because it's unique. What is not unique per sequence is the tracks. You have this transpose area right here, and then you have your time signature area right here where you can set up your time signatures. You can hit this pencil sign and you're greeted with erase, clear all, clear events, trim, transpose, delete bars, insert bars, half length, double length, copy sequence, copy bars, copy events, bounce to sample, bounce to a new audio track. You can even turn off live looping right here. Now let's talk about the track part. If you want to start a new track, all you have to do is hit new track right here at the bottom left side of the screen, where you have audio tracks, drum tracks, plugin tracks, key group tracks, MIDI, and CVN gate. You can also go over here to your new track, and then you can hit the advanced mode. The advanced mode will bring you right here where you can put in multiple tracks. You can put in a certain amount of numbers. So I'll just put in 7, 8, 9, and then we'll just go to OK. And now you see you have a whole bunch of drum tracks. If you do not like something that you have done, this is where I introduce you to your best friend, which is the undo button. And you can undo, and now you can see that you don't have those many tracks anymore. On the MPC Key 37, you can load up sounds with this sounds button, but I want to show you the browser button so you know how to browse your files. So this is file management. Once you click on the browser button, you're greeted with this screen right here where you have places. So if you have an SD card in the back inserted in the MPC Key 37, then you can browse your stuff right here. You also have this content bar where you can browse your drums, instruments, samples, etc. And then you have expansions, which the MPC Key 37 does come with its own sounds. To show you how this browser works is pretty easy. If you want to look for certain sounds, you can. But first, we need to talk about the different parts of this browser. So you have these icons right here, such as this right here, which this is how you look up project files. This is how you look up MIDI files. This is how you look up MPC expansions. This is how you would look up plugins. This is how you would look up WAV files. And this last little icon is how you can look up all files. If you click on the screen, then you will hear different things being auditioned using this data wheel that's located right here at the right side of the screen. You can scroll down and you'll hear the sounds being auditioned. You can go over here and you can set it to auto or turn off auto and it will not play any sounds. You can choose to sync it to your recent BPM if it is a perfect loop or whatever. And you can also choose to warp. So you can turn on and off all these things and you can turn the volume up or down right here. I usually have it lower because I don't want everything to be blasting while making a beat. You also can load it into your sample pool, or you can just load the sound right onto your track. The next thing we need to talk about is right over here is the search bar. So we click on the search bar, it brings up this keypad, this virtual keypad that is touch enabled. Let's type in the word trap because we're going to do a trap beat. We're going to hit do it. And then we're going to go over here to the MPC expansion. If you don't have anything on your screen, just go over to any of the expansions that you want. I'm going to click on this one right here, take a listen to it. And I'm going to load it in right here by using the load button. We hit load and it loads into track number 1, if I'm not mistaken. Once we look and we see track number 1 has these drums, then we can hit on the pads to test them out. One quick tip when we're messing with drum tracks in general, because we're going to start with drums, you can hit full level right here on the pads and it will give you full level instead of just the velocity, because it is velocity driven, these pads. Coincidentally, you can play these sounds on the keys and they work perfectly. They're aligned exactly like how it would be on a workstation. I will start by touching this part of the screen, which will be controlled by what you call a data wheel on the MPC, and I can lower the BPM to whatever I want. As a side note, I changed it to 74 BPM, but I want to introduce you to this side of the MPC, which is the transport buttons. So you have record, overdub, stop, play, and play start. The most important thing is to make sure that you use the record button when you want to record something in, and when you're ready, hit play start and everything shall be in sync. You will hear a count in and then you can proceed with making your beat. It'll be 1 bar. And we have recorded something in. Now let's say you wanted to add more stuff in. Let's do that. Like this kick right here. If you just notice, there's nothing there, and that's because you should not press record to overdub anything. You should hit the overdub button that is right here. What you can do is hit the undo button, all your events will return, and then you will hit overdub and play start. And let's add some more kicks in. Let's give it a listen. Now, if you notice, I was off beat, and this is where I want to talk about this button right here, because it'll be your best friend, and that's timing correct, which is called TC on the MPC Key 37 Gen 2. After pressing Shift and the timing correct button, you would be hit with this screen right here, where it tells you if your global timing correct is on, and then it's time divisions right here. So make sure that you note that it's always 116. You can do 1/8, you can do 4/4, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 132, 164, and you can also do triplets just in case you want to work in that style. You also can do types. So you have start. You can control this with your data wheel, by the way, once you touch the screen, length, legato, and all that other stuff. You can choose events, selected events, ranges, and so forth. We're not going to get into that in this video. You can also put some swing on your track, and you can shift the timing, change the window and the strength of the timing correct, just in case you want something to be loose, even though you're playing it tightly. You also can apply it to all tracks or an individual track of your choice. But in this case, we're just going to close, but you would execute everything if you want to use timing correct by hitting do it, but we'll just press close. The other thing that we need to talk about when you are making your drums, because you might want something to note repeat, you have the note repeat button right over here. If you press down on the note repeat button, you will hear it go in 1/16 because it's to your time division that you have picked. So if you happen to change your timing correct to something else, then it is correlated with the note repeat. So you want to be mindful of that. You can do 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 132, 164, or triplets. So let's go ahead and add some triplets. You already know the vibes. You would just press overdub play start. And give it a go. We'll overdub, turn that overdub off, and then give it a listen back. Now, I want to show you this. If you double tap on the screen, it will latch. Another way to do that is press down Shift and note repeat, and it will latch it to the screen. And there you go. We have laid down your first drum track. Now that we've learned how to lay down a drum track, let's learn how to use the keys on the Key 37. Let's go ahead and play some chords the traditional way on the keys. So let's go to new track at the bottom left side of the screen. Press on new track. We're going to use a plugin this time. We'll go with Fabric Select because it comes with your MPC Key 37, and we'll pick out some type of piano. So I have these keys right here. I like this preset. And by the way, if you want to look at the UI, you would hit the track edit button and it'll pull up the UI just in case you want to customize anything. Preset is called Suitcase plus Tines. To keep things sounding natural in this beat, I will turn timing correct off because I don't want it to mess with any of my keys, but you can keep it on if you want to. I like that. Let's say that you messed up on something while you was playing, which I did. You can go to grid edit over here. So you press this grid edit button and it brings you into the grid. So this is the piano roll on the MPC. You have multiple functions right here, like you have pull and pitch, so you can see what notes that you're looking at, and you can scroll right through with your finger or whatnot, so you can see everything. You can have the selection tool right here where you can select a note that you want. You can have this erase. So you can erase a note. So if I wanted to erase that note, you can hit undo to bring it back. And then you have this pencil. So if you want to draw something with the pencil, there's a little bit more to that. If you want to do some stuff, what you want to do, like in this instance, if we draw this note over here, we want it right there. We can select it, and then you can go to nudge if you want to nudge it forward. You can also nudge by don't snap, and don't snap brings it slower. It doesn't just lock it to grid like nudge does. And you can do start in. Let's say you wanted to change the way that it looks like. You can use your data wheel to scroll left. You can scroll back. You can also undo it. You can go over here to edit in, and then you edit the end of that note. And you can also transpose that note too if it doesn't fit your manner or whatever style that you want. You can press and hold the shift button, which is in red on the very right of your MPC Key 37, and you can select all of the MIDI notes. You can cut it. You can also hit undo to bring all that stuff back. You can do copy, paste, and delete if you want to delete. You can do that. Now, of course, undo will bring all that back. And then you can do duplicate too if you want to duplicate anything over. How you erase this note right here just by using the touch screen. And once you erase that note, you can go on. I think I have something going on over here. Let's play it back. And I'm going to scroll over to it. And I have a note that's a little bit ahead of time. And I'm going to slide it over. I kept it off a nudge and don't. And if I have anything that I played a little too high, I can just go over here and adjust the other things too, by the way. I can just go ahead and mess with the velocity over here. Then I can mess with that. If you don't like that, you can undo because I think that's a little bit too much. You also can click on velocity and then you can go to something like probability. Probability will give you less or more. So the higher it is, the more likely you'll play the note. The lower it is, the less likely you'll play the note. You can also control that by going over here to the selection tool, selecting the notes that you want to mess with. Go to selection tool here, scroll up, and then now I have control over the probability of those notes, and it'll slide just the way it wants. I'm cool with all that stuff being there. I don't want to modify any of the probability. As a matter of fact, I will do it one more time so that it's not messed up. But that is the grid mode in a nutshell. How about adding a bass to your track? So right now, to get out of this grid event, let's get out of here by pressing the main button. Now we'll go over here to new track and we'll select the key group, because the key group allows you to use things in one shot or play it with polyphony. Now I will show you a new way of browsing by clicking on the screen here. We're going to go to places. I'm going to find an 808 that I like. I'll exit out of that trap search here, and then I will go over to my 808 folder. We have the 808 that we want. We're going to audition it by hitting this play sign, and then we can load it into that track because it is a key group. Now we can go back to the main screen here, and you'll notice something different. When I press on the keys, you don't hear anything. So once you press on the keys, you don't hear anything, then you will press track edit, and now it will bring you into here, which is your key group editing. So one thing we know is we want it to be a mono 808. And also I want the key group to action off the 808 by note on mode. And then we'll go over here to sample, and then we'll look for that 808 by going over here where it says sample none, and then go into memory, and then you'll find the 808 there. So just in case you are not, and you'll hear it playing. Now let's go over here to global. You notice when we press on the keys, or if we press the pads, that the 808 is being held. So we want to go to sample play right over here, and then we're going to go to note off. If you want to play with your 808 while you're on the pads, whoa, you can. I wasn't expecting the 808 to hit like that. You also have these tabs where you can navigate and mess with different parameters. One of the main parameters that I want to show you right here, you can mess with different layers. You can layer your 808. You can have it offset and all that other stuff. What I want to do is go to amplitude envelope, and then now we will control it. You can mess with the Q links right over here, which have different meaning from different positions. And this is like that for all the Q links. You can tap on the Q link, and then you can see what it controls. Right now, I'm controlling the attack. If I want to bring it to the front here, we have it right there. Wow, this 808 is mean. Let me turn this down, and let's say we want to control the decay. So let's go over here to decay, which is this right here. We can mess with the sustain and release by going to the next Q link knobs over here. So we'll mess with the release so we can give it a long release. I need to use the right Q link for the job. And then we can mess with the sustain. You can see you can bend. You can make your 808 whatever you want. So technically that's how you control any of your one-shot sounds if it's in a key group. We'll go to main. We'll mess with other things because I'm probably sure someone will ask. Since I'm over here, hit this crown sign or the keyboard sign, and then go over here to effects. You can add effects too. There's a whole bunch of effects, but what we're looking for is probably in harmonics, which is distortion. We can mess with distortion. If you want to pull up that plugin that you selected, you just tap on it, and there it is. You can mess with presets too, and really give your 808 some character. I want to show you how to play the 808 on the pads instead of the keys, because we already messed with the keys. What you want to do is just go out and to your main button. Make sure that you press that if you get lost. We'll close that out right here. And now I will introduce you to pad perform mode. Press and hold shift. Then you would press the 16 levels button. The 16 levels button will introduce you to pad perform. Pad perform mode, you can play stuff chromatically. You can change the octaves right here. You can go to note mode. We'll play everything that's in the scale in the octave that is set to. So right now it's a C major. You can play chords. You can play chromatic chords. You can play progressions, which you have a myriad of progressions, but we're using the key 37. And then you have custom stuff that you have set up. What I want to do is play it in note mode, so it makes everything shorter. So all I have is everything that's in scale. Speaking of scale, let's press the main button and go back to our E piano track. This was the first note that we played on the keyboard, and this is the chord. Now, the key to finding out the scale that you're in is knowing which is the first key that you play in that scale. So we know that this is a D sharp. So when we go back into pad perform, we can go over here, configure to a D sharp, and then we'll select minor, because I believe it's a D sharp minor. And let's go over here to the main and go back to our 808 track. One mental note, I did mess up when I was telling you about the 808 here. So go ahead and hit track edit, go on to global. You need to be on one shot. So make sure that you're on one shot when you do this. Not a note on. It will sound weird. I thought I was tweaking a little bit. A quick question, which 808 sounds better? So let's go over here. Track edit. It's on here. Let me turn that up a little bit. Let's mess with distortion. I kind of like that one better. So moving on forward here, let's go to another track and we'll just lay out some type of melody. As you can imagine, we just want something simple for right now. And we'll just hit new track. We'll hit plugin. We have fabric select on here. And what I will do is go to some horns if it has any horns. Otherwise, I'll use something else. So the horns that I have right here are, I'm going to hit track edit and you can see them. It's called octave brass. So it sounds like this. I'm going to record that in. At any given time, if you want to lower the volume on a track, just go to main screen and you'll see that the Q link is on 1 because you have multiple Q links. You can hit the Q link button, but you can go to this top Q link and lower the volume. Let's do it in real time. But let's go ahead and add another key section with the horns. What I'm going to do is hit the pencil sign and I'm going to duplicate the track. It won't duplicate the actual recording that I did. And then I will go up an octave. So at any given time, by the way, you can turn off your metronome click by using this third Q link, as long as the Q link is on this dot right here. Now I will fill out the beat with one more track. I will use some bells that sound similar to like Beethoven or something like that. Let's duplicate the track one more time. Duplicate. This time I'll change up the plugin to HypeSynth, and I'm using O choirs from the choir section. And then I will go to new track this time, go to plugin, and this time I will pull up Mellotron, which is a free plugin for everybody. It's installed on your Key 37 Gen 2. It looks like this and sounds like this. I'm using the flute patch. Not bad for all stock sounds, but anyways, what we're talking about now is naming your tracks. I just wanted to do all that so we can name a whole bunch of tracks because you can get lost. So the first thing you do is just press and hold on whatever the name is right now and then change it. Change it to, since that was the flute, let's change it to flute, and boom. Now you can also reorder your tracks by messing with position. So for an example, if I wanted to move the flute over to track number 7, then I have it on track number 7. And if you want to move it back, you don't have to hit undo at this point. You know we're on track number 9, and then we're going to go ahead and rename everything else accordingly. Now we have everything named, so you can see it. I'm going to scroll through with my data wheel. You can see that you have all your tracks organized. And this track right here is not being utilized at all. So what I would normally do is press the pencil sign right here and then delete the track. So that's how you delete the track. At this point, I want to teach you how to save your tracks, because we don't did too much and we don't want to lose it somehow. To simply save, all you have to do is go into your menu right here, and then you'll see save on the screen. Press save and then select project. From here, you'll go to your SD card slot, which I recommend over saving on the MPC Key 37, though you have a lot of space. It's just better this way. What we need to do is create a folder. So let me go ahead and show you that again. So you hit new folder, and then you will name it. Well, I like to put all my MPCs, so I got every single last one of them, and organize every project by the MPC that I produced it on. So I'll put in Akai MPC Key 37 Generation 2. So I'll put G2 for short, and then I'll type in projects. So let's type in projects here, and boom. Once you hit do it, it will bring you in there. And I will just simply call this Traptendo second MPC, because this is my second beat on here, MPC Key beat. And then after that, I'll hit do it, and then you hit save. That's wild. I'm looking at the memory right now, and the memory is doing fine. That's amazing. But you'll see the project name right here at the top left side of the screen. And that is good when you see that, because that means that you have saved at one point. I want to teach you a traditional way of laying out your beats so you have a full beat, and that is by track mutes. So we're going to go right here where the sequence is at, and we're going to use this pencil sign right here. Once we click on the pencil sign, what you want to do is press copy sequence. So we don't want to use that main sequence to lay stuff out. We want to keep it reserved. We're going to navigate to sequence 2 because we want to paste it over. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to name it full beat. So we'll type in full beat, if I can spell full beat, and then hit do it. Once you hit do it, then you hit do it again, and now you're on your second sequence, and you'll see that the BPM is representative of what you worked with in the first place. We'll just do this right here. We'll hit the pencil sign, and then we'll double the length. So now it's 8 bars because it was a 4-bar loop. And now we double it again, it's 16 bars. We double it again, it is 32 bars. And then we double it again, now it's 64 bars. Now let's locate the track mute button. The track mute button is right here. We'll hit the track mute button. Now we're in track mutes. Now we can see a whole bunch of stuff on the track mute screen. We see all the tracks that we have. If I press on the pads, you can see I'm taking away stuff. Now I have just the drums. Now I just have the stuff here, and I can just cycle through and play with it. And I recommend you do that. Now that we have played with it, I want to show you one more thing, and let's exit out of track mutes. We'll go to the main screen here, and we're going to go right to our track. As a matter of fact, you can navigate to any of your tracks by pressing and holding the main button and then pressing on one of the correlated paths to the color. So if I wanted to go to the flute track, I can go to the flute track real quick, and I can go to the brass track and all this other stuff. But we're going to stay on this kit right here, which says Trap Soul or whatever. And what we're going to do is press the pencil sign here, and we're going to explode this track. Boom. And now you'll see a dramatic change once we go back into track mutes. Now, once we go back into track mutes by pressing the track mute button, we see we have new tracks. Okay. And those new tracks, we have control over. Like, we have the kick and all this stuff. And we like all of that stuff. Now, one thing I want to show you real quick is going back into the main screen here, and we're going to navigate to the first track, and then we're going to go ahead and get rid of that because we don't want that to be interfering with anything that we do track mute wise. Now, when we go back into track mute, you'll see that everything has moved over. Everything plays the same. And I recommend that you check it just in case. And if you have to, save in between it. And make sure that you know that you can undo whatever you have done in terms of deleting as well. It will come back. Now, the one thing I want to do is organize some of my track mutes. Like, for example, over here, I have my brass. So I have low brass. I'm going to go ahead and play that. So if I want to control both of those track mutes right there, I'll go in the track group. So once I go in the track group, I can go to those tracks. So I hit on the pad here and I'll assign it to 1. And then I'll assign the higher brass to 1 as well. And you'll notice a difference once we get out of track group and I press on it. Both of them are muted. So that just helps you with not overdoing it or having to press so many pads when you're track muting in this process. What you want to do during the track mute process here, because we're laying it out this way, we're going to do automation in this sense. There is 2 different modes, but I usually keep it on audio so that you don't have any problem or anything like that. I think I might start off with the E-pianos. So now that I decide that, I'll go over here and I'll press on this automation right here, and you could just press play start and begin to lay out your beat the way you want. Once you're done laying it out, all you have to do is turn this off. You want to turn your automation off. If at any time that you have any mistakes, you can press the undo button. But what I want to show you is simply this right here. You have an erase button on your MPC. Every MPC has an erase button in this modern time. You will click on it right over here and go to automation. And then you see where it says perimeter all. And then you will hit do it. I'm going to hit cancel because I like what I got going on. If you like what you did, it might be a good idea to just press menu again and then hit save project, and it will save again. So that way that you have everything going. What I want to do is show you something like this right here, because I know people are going to ask this, and is it an easy way to go to your mixer? Now you can go to your mixer by pressing this button on the screen. I'll show you right here again. You can do this. But as you can see right here, this button lit up, and I didn't show this on the MPC 1 G2 video, but you can hit mixer and then you can bring it over here. Now in this sense, when I play the track back, you can see all the tracks. Remember, that's why we named our tracks. You can see whatever else you got going on over here, and you can do many things. Like you could go pan and volume right down here at the bottom side of the screen here, and you can do your sends. You can even add effects this way as well. You can even mess with your IO as well and tether it to your DAW of choice via USB Type-C. But I simply just want to mix stuff. So if you want to pan stuff, You can go into pan and volume, and from pan and volume you can do whatever you want here. You can use your data wheel, put it more so on the left side or the right side, whatever you decide. In all the automation, you'll see when things are muting and stuff like that. You can also scroll on the screen and see the rest of your tracks, which is pretty cool. And just decide whatever you want to do to your mix. I'm cool with the mix the way it is. And that's how you mix on the MPC. There is another thing that I want to show you. I'm going to go ahead and get into the menu here, and we're going to press save again. We're going to save the project so that nothing happens. Then we're going to press save again. And I know you guys are curious, how would you bounce that down? You go into audio mix down over here from the save button, and you can see that you have stereo outputs, and you can also do separate tracks. Anytime that you have a full on long sequence, you can separate tracks, and that's kind of opposite when you're messing with song mode. That's why I don't show song mode, because it confuses people. But over here you can select file formats. You have a multitude of file formats from AI, FF, MP3, FLAC, OGG. Who the hell uses OGG? But you can send all your tracks. Once you hit export, it will ask you where you want to put the track. So in my opinion, I think it'd be good if I go a folder up and go into my Akai Beats folder. You can make a Beats folder. You already know how to do that. And then we can hit save, and it will bounce down the track. After the track is bounced down, you can hit your browser button, and then you can go into your places here. I bounced it down to my SD card, and you can go inside of your SD card. We'll just go ahead and exit out of 808 because it's just showing 808. Akai Beats, everything will play. If you have a whole bunch of beats on here, you know, it correlates to your volume knob that's over here. And I can go down here to Traptendo, whatever it's called. I'll figure it out. But we'll just scroll down until we get to the track. Here it is right here. I just found it. I had to look and see where it was at. I'm going to turn the audition all the way up to like 0 decibels so you can hear it in full. It does play. And that'll do. And the beat is right here, and everything seems like it's cool. I hope you found this video to be very helpful. Man, the work that I put into this video is insane. If you want to support my channel, there's a couple of ways that you can. If you enjoyed this video, I just want to make sure that everybody understands how powerful the new Key 37 Gen 2s are, so that you guys can understand it. And you can support my channel by using any of the affiliate links that I have in the description. No additional cost will come from doing that, and no pressure either. You can support this channel for free by hitting the like button if you like this content. It will help with the algorithm and all that good stuff. And then most importantly, you can support me directly by checking out the masterclass for the Key 37. It has all the Key 37 information in there, and of course I'm going to update it so that you get more of the Gen 2 stuff, and you be good and all that. I appreciate everybody that watched this video. God bless. We out this bitch.